Well, last night was hilarious again. I was at well, parts of it wasn't. I was at my new client's, okay? They, the lady before her house is part of it. She'd been saying stuff in the dark, and where she just reach out and say something, or, not come say something in your face. And her kids even mocked me from the backyard. Well, I start rambling about how they found him lying. Who knew they were lying? Who knew I was photoshopped? Who knew I was drugged and told to say stuff? Okay? I walk out, she's on the phone. I didn't know they photoshopped or all that. Okay? I go back out later. I go to smoke. She's pulling in with her kids. I told Judge Pete I knew he did all that. And he photoshopped all that and da-da-da-da-da. And she's rambling. And it was him. Okay? I go back out to smoke a few hours later. There's a lady out in the field across the street. I told the police they better take care of this. A lot of people laughed. It's not so funny when you find out that person was drugged, framed, lied on, and then photoshopped. Is it? And they're trying to extort money. So I come home, and some idiot off in the dark, I told those kids I'll give them money. You don't give children that are caught in front of the police and the FBI what? For the house wasn't meant for Grandma, it was meant for Auntie Shaw and Papa. And Grandma needs to get out. Judge Pete's daughter, Michelle. And then later on the floor, we're making everything up. It's a game of pretend. We're lying. And then where the toxic water people, you just adjust your nurse at Mercy Medical, March 13, 21. You just adjust yourself. That's all they had. Guys like that sick. She said, no, it's funny. She just adjusts yourself. Just wipe something off, running. Okay? Right in town, April 1st to May 10th. You didn't expose yourself. You're good. Just wiped off some water running with clothes. I'm like, okay, you're weird. It's like somebody saying you wiped off crumbs or spilled coffee. You didn't expose yourself. You're good. And I'm like, what on earth? And then March 2nd to the 3rd, my car's plugged by the police. Of 21. We're going to put two clips together and put her in a porn. It's not her. It's them. Okay? Don't worry about her. It's them. Then Ed, Oakland apartment, December 9th, 21, 4 p.m. They called. He was a toxic water guy. All the tapes before were them. Not her. Wow, what's going on? It's a group of men doing as many crimes as they can to see if someone will actually stop them. There was a bald guy at the Hunger Task Force distributing food. He showed up several times during the case, comes out and said, it makes my stomach turn. Seeing her in a place like this. We always knew the tapes before were them, not her. So we never said a word. I was so mad at shaking in my body. There was an African American lady in November showed up at Save-A-Lot and said she was going to extort money out of me for it. Well, she showed back up and said, we found out they made all that up. No one's to say anything to her. Well, I went and Save-A-Lot yesterday. Some guy came in and told some guy, they found out they made all that up. Yeah, a lot of people laughed. A lot of people laughed. And no one's to give them money. No one's to give them money. Being photos. Oh, I got home, too. Some guy yelled out, Dave heard her sing last night. He told everybody to leave her alone. Dave's not supposed to interfere in my life. Dave and I, when we first got married, deeply in love with him. Well, back then I had brown hair and with fuller cheeks. People always said I looked like Linda Carter. Okay? I was a size 3. And we had our first mobile home, and I wore a sexy nightgown with a short little house coat and heels, and he wore a suit, and we danced to I Will Always Love You and made out. It was beautiful. I listened to that on the way home last night. Thought if Dave heard that, I'm sure he remembers that night that he used to love me and didn't try to kill me. It's like being married to the mob. when they're done with you, they'll kill you. It's sad. I love him with all my heart. Loved him too much. And with loving him too much, I couldn't wrap my mind around that he would actually try to kill me. And it was devastating on levels you could never imagine. And then when he threatened my children's life, it was like over my dead body. You'll go through me first. And those undercover police from Ravenna helping for Judge Pete's daughter, they're not funny. It's an extortion, drug, kidnapping. Somebody needs to find out what happened to. Now, I did call the FBI September 27th, 18. I talked to Will in the Canton office. He listed me an informant. Walter used to be a prosecutor. He said, when the government puts you in a protection program, it's illegal for them to drop you. They can move you to a different program and they have to notify you. But they can't drop you. It's illegal because somebody tried to kill you. Once they protect you, they can't unprotect you. It's illegal. I just didn't realize he turned it over to a police investigation. List me informant. Nobody's ever to touch me again. And let the police put me in protective custody. Legal house tapes after that. Because nothing before, like Reinhard Giggle, no one's allowed in your home except for that. Okay? No one's allowed. It's illegal. It's a 5-year federal prison sentence, actually. It's called entrapment, abuse, and misconduct. But he put me in police protective custody and told the police to take care of the stalkers in the store. Okay. February 7th, 22, I'm in Giant Eagle before noon with my neighbor Becky. I took her up there and there's a guy outside AutoZone right next to it. Will did this to her. Said Will did very little with this case. He left it on his desk. And I'm like, I lived in a concentration camp. He left me on his desk. That's why they got him. Someone needs to go through a legal protective life case with legal tapes that will set up for a protective life. You watch those officers stab me with needles in the first 30 days. You can see him break in my house and do it. I want you to watch 12/21/18. I get a shower. I go to the refrigerator. I open the door and whoa! I wake up 6 hours later in bed. I have a dent in my skull. I have hair missing. Skin feels funny around. Head's pounding. Mark on my neck. A big, huge bruise under my ribs. Somebody needs to watch that tape because they blame the FBI for that. And they told everybody they were FBI, and the FBI was doing it to me. And it was nothing but the dirty undercover police and Judge Bean. Okay. March 13, 21, 2:53 p.m. I go in Altman Hospital. I get registered. Lady comes in. I'm here for Karen's will. They had walked around Walmart. Case is called Karen's will from the agency. No, it's not. It's called Karen around the house is what the police call it. Okay? What am I talking about? Okay. So, and they said the agency chipped her. They point over at me. Is that why she's here? A bitch gets in my face. The agency wanted those rules out of you. That's why they chipped her. I'm like, shut up, it's illegal. Go in the back. I tell Dr. Alanatine I may have a chip. He goes to leave. There's a man right outside my room. Some damn bastard neuroprotector. He said, we already know. There's a CT at Mercy Medical. You can see they got the wires in the crack. It looks like they took a fucking steak knife to my head. Now, I need somebody to find out and watch that house tape of 12/21/18. Because they're blaming the FBI. And, yeah. A real protective life set up by Will at the Canton FBI, September 27th, 18. And a week later, within a week, a heavyset white guy came in Walmart, 62, asked Dave about those people threatening her. And he better not put his hands on her. That's the only time the police or the FBI can ever watch you is protective life. They can't even be in drug lords or murderers' homes. Because you have a right to a fair trial, bail and bond, a right to remain silent, and a right to privacy. It's our Constitution. They can only be there, protective life, ask for help, Miranda right witnesses, and the other person spoke to. Otherwise, it's abuse and misconduct and entrapment. It's thrown out. Okay. Now, July to September 19, you will also find a cop raping and torturing me. A video of it. These people by end of December came up in Walmart. The agents are selling the login for money. They're selling it for $25 a pop. I can give you a list of people that have the real protective life case. It's illegal for the police to give out your name, your address, or details of the case. Okay. Like I said, there's only two things that are funny out of this whole situation. Melissa's kids got caught stating that I went to the house for anti-shell, and they were making everything up, and it was a game and pretend. And Dave doesn't know. They sold a login, and people have his naked ass on the internet. He finds out all these people are dead. You don't play with him. Okay? Comes down to that. You don't play with him. I've had Macedonia Fire Department lady in domestic violence showed up and yelled at somebody at Dr. Rapika's office. Okay? Youngstown gas station, well knows that chip needs to come out. Hartville gas station, they found the tape of the rape. The guy in the used clothing store in Hartville, they could have beat her to death. I've had over 50 people say they've seen the rape. Never been tortured. Watch out, some guy, they could have beat her to death. If you have never been tortured, it's worse than almost being murdered. Do you ever get over it? I have people who make fun of me for it. And for everything else, for being the victim. They're that sick around here. Okay? And they know about the photoshopping and the drugs and Dave drugging me. Faith Family Church even has a login. The ushers. My pastor is such a good man. He said he had a dream. God asked him, how do you save a life? The answer was vehicles. My church went shopping with me. In case. St. Mary's had it, Maslin. Jewish religions around here. At one point, I had a 2-mile brigade encasing me with cars. Our nation did what it did best. It protects. I had a guy that looked like Al from Home Improvement show up from Washington State. A group of people from California. A group of people from Texas. Not all good there. Some of them were. North Carolina, Virginia, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky, Michigan, and New York, and Illinois. I had a 2-mile brigade of people going shopping with me and going out to eat. And you know what's sad? If they seen an apostolic person, they would say, if you don't tell her, we'll buy you lunch or a dessert or give you money. And those people took it. Instead of having the integrity of we would never participate in hurting someone, they took their money. People would fill the restaurants. The apostolics can go eat somewhere else. We're here today. Karen's hanging out with us today. I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for the kindness of strangers. And we'll love him. He did activate the Freemasons in Ravenna and the retired vets, thinking it puts Carrie around her, she'll be fine. He left me on his desk. Could you imagine if he would have called me? I told his secretary, Dave had a list. They heard him. And I seen the guy and he took off through the sidewalks. I got a picture in my phone of July 1st of 2018. I took a picture of my beautiful backwoods. There's a deer with its head turned. If you scoot it over, there's a man hiding behind the tree. He already had him positioned in July. It's that bad. My old neighbor lives in the house before mine at Lenox. She told me, she said, Karen, there was 2 men watching your house. They would take off and come back. They were there for a long time before you moved out. I said, oh, if I'd known, I'd call someone. She's like, Karen, I watched them. They kept watching your house. They could have sat across the street in the corner store parking lot. But they sat at the end of the driveway position. It's a good thing my road was very busy. We had a bus route and cars going up and down it all the time. Somebody needs to actually do some investigating. And this needs fixed. And I have to have something in me. A Canton officer walked by, his phone dinged, and he started reading off my information. How would he do that? Mercy Medical, there's a CT. It shows it cut the wires a crack. Because on the paper part, it doesn't talk about it. Only thing it says I have some sinus swelling. But if you look at the CD, you can see it. Everybody has sinus issues in Ohio. But I do have a dent the size of an egg in my head. And I made a mistake and got my hair dyed in the first 45 days. Burnt like hell. Somebody did something to me. And I was raped and tortured. There is a law called Justice for Victims of Torture and Terrorism Act. It's a federal law. It's a federal law. You know, I told the Department of Justice what's going on here. They're like, get a hold of the FBI. Because it's their job to correct this. And they need to find out who. It was funny, 2 or 3 nights ago, some women walked by our apartment. John did some investigating. Some guy actually went to that church and told him he was FBI. The night before, I called Will back. Okay. I had called Sarah. Well, I left his number. I didn't even spoke to Will yet. I called her up. I said, Sarah, will you witness for me? These people are threatening me. She's like, yeah, Karen, I'm scared for you. They're leaving threats in the morning. And so I took Will's number, put it in a card for her, gave it to her manager, put it in her locker. We went on to Apostolic Church of Barberton. Paul Paymer got into his face. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. Looks like who could be his kid. He's white, black hair, dark eyes, black glasses, 5'9", 5'10", 165. He showed up later. Yeah, right, we didn't have a right to chip you. Yeah, right, U.S. Supreme Court 18-10134, 11th Circuit, 2005. I may not be the brightest cookie, but I used to do title loans. And when I did title loans, you do research on titles and people. So, yeah, that's quite well, did quite well on it. So, I need somebody to find out what they did to me 12/21/18. And I would appreciate it if the FBI would make them do a federal law. There's set prices, they have to pay the medical bills, and if there's a chip, they have to take it out. It's federal law. And nobody has a right. They warned me in Walmart. People got paid off up here, became 2 teams. Remember the truth. They'll try to implant lies. They'll try to steal everything you have in life. The agents are so corrupt, they try to steal. So it's this. There is another threat. For when they find you alone, that's when they'll take care of you. And they have a field picked out south of Ravenna to stab you to death and cut your face off. They make threats, and they make it happen. Walmart said they would have all those tapes. It's one of the biggest industries in the world. Yeah. And they have the best tape in audio. Memorial Day weekend 2019 food counter. A white woman, African American man. For it's my daughter, her husband dates. He met her in Ravenna when she was having a stomach spell. It's for my daughter. They did all this for her, and our family watching her doing this. It's them. And for who's Karen's rich boyfriend but the state of Ohio who protects her? They're getting paid to protect me, and it's them. Somebody needs to do something about this. Judge Pete and his undercover police are not funny. I've never been questioned or accused of any wrongdoing. No Miranda rights. No man, no lady, no officer, no agent, no attorney, nobody. I had bruises and then people bragging they used sodium pentothal on me. Yeah, and Dave, telling on Dave for drugging me. So I got sick when he touched my drinks, and he defends me in front in the police investigation. That's what's rich. Trust no man, took that one to heart. What was Will thinking, leaving me on his desk and not calling back a month later? Because I'd be saying, my God, why are your people stabbing me? My God, why is this happening? I almost got shot in the head driving. And they argue in Walmart they're leaving me high in danger. Failure to protect is abuse and misconduct. Huh? He left me on his desk thinking it was just stalkers. And I was living in a concentration camp. It's documented. I weighed 212 to 217. October 1st of 18. April 1st of 19. I weighed 150 pounds. I lost 62 to 67 pounds that fast, and most of it was within the first 4 months. They were keeping me so drugged up there that I couldn't even keep saliva down. I had up to 8 bruises where they were breaking in at night and stabbing me with needles. Okay? Somebody needs to help me.